My name is Nora. I'm here with my son, Haziq. I'm the mom to Tijani. My daughter passed away 2 years ago from liver cancer. The reason why I'm here tonight is because I'd like to share my experience and the privilege that we've had by receiving help from Hospice Malaysia when my daughter was ill. So let's go back to the beginning so you can understand how impactful our experience was. On 11th of October, it was a Monday in 2021, my phone rang at 4:30 in the morning. Any parent knows a phone call at this hour can't be good news. I picked up my phone, I looked at it, and it was Tijani. I answered and Tijani said, "Umi, come out, come out." So, I was awoken from sleep because of the call. So I didn't quite get what she meant. So I just stepped out of my room and I saw Tijani. She was on the sofa and I could see that she was in pain. So what I did was I turned on the main lights in the hall and I could see that her lips were pale. And when I went to her and I touched her, she was cool to the touch, not like regular temperature. So I absolutely panicked. I screamed out for Haziq. I was like, "Haziq, wake up. We have to take your sister to the hospital now." So he carried her to the car. We reached at the hospital. And then there were so many confused faces. For every medical staff that looked at Tijani, you could just see they were like, I don't quite understand this. So anyway, after a few tests and scans, they found that Tijani had a growth at her liver. So we had to schedule for a surgery. During the surgery, they discovered that there were actually two growths. One was about the size of a mango, like a pretty fat apple mango. And the second one was about the size of a lemon. So in the operation, they had to remove 40% of her liver. She was 20 at that time, and liver regenerates. So we're like, it's going to be okay. And we thought so too. 1 month later, we went for the follow-up check, the checkup, and we found out that the cancer cells were back. So at that time, we're like, oh no. So the next year, the whole of 2022 was basically lots and lots of trips to the hospital. It was doctor's appointments, CT scans, MRIs, and of course, chemotherapy. And after a whole year of that, in January of 2023, the doctor told us her cancer was in remission. So Tijani and I, we were so overjoyed. We actually felt triumphant, like, yeah, we won, And so then that year was pretty good. We moved to a new place. We celebrated her 21st birthday and we celebrated Hari Raya. But then right after Hari Raya, Tijani said, my stomach, my body's not feeling kind of good. So we set for an appointment to see the doctor. In June of 2023, we found that her cancer had relapsed. It had not just relapsed, it relapsed straight into stage 4, and it had spread from her liver to her abdomen. So when we heard this news, obviously we were shocked, but we were determined. We told ourselves, it's okay, let's fight this. So we were still in the hospital and they were still doing checks on her. 1 month later in July, they told us that her liver was not ready for chemotherapy. So that news was very, very hard to accept. So while we were dealing with the news, we also understood that there was pretty much not a point of staying in the hospital. And the team at the hospital, they did give us an option. they said that we could bring Tijani home. The thing is, Tijani and I were both excited to go home. We missed the comfort of our own home. We missed our own beds. We missed our cats. But at the same time, we were also worried. What if she had pain symptoms in the middle of the night? How would we manage her pain? So then we were told there's a community hospice that can manage the pain from home. So obviously, this was our only concern at that time. So when we were given this option, then we said, let's go home. And this is the beginning of, I really have to say, a beautiful and lasting relationship with Hospice Malaysia. Our case was referred to Hospice Malaysia. And, I still remember the first visit when the doctor and the nurse came. I have already felt a huge sense of release. To bring a sick patient to the hospital is not an easy thing. You have to get the patient ready. You have to put them in a wheelchair. You have to get them to the lobby, that whole routine. But here we are at home. We're literally having a doctor's appointment without having to drive to the hospital, without having to wait for the registration, without having for a longer wait for a bed to be assigned to us. So that was a very, very good experience right from the get-go. Now, with weekly visits, the same doctor and nurse that came every time, it was actually Nurse Nisha who's here, and also Dr. Wai Fong. And they came every week, and they built a bond with Tijani and I. Right. Nurse Nisha and Dr. Wai Fong spoke to Tijani like she was a person, not just like a patient. So it wasn't always, oh, here's your condition and here's your medication. So with that, they gained Tijani's trust. Tijani opened up to them and, she would talk about a lot of things. She spoke about her favorite TV shows. She spoke about her favorite food. And that was how we found out that all four of us were foodies. We talked about food a lot. So as time progressed, Tijani's condition did get worse. She was not able to consume her medication orally. So this was when Hospice Malaysia loaned to us such an amazing gadget. This device called a syringe driver. It is yay small, like the size of an iPhone Pro Max. And the beauty of it is that it could actually infuse the medication continuously. So this means that Tijani's pain was being managed constantly. And also, in case if there was breakthrough pain, Nurse Nisha and Dr. Wai Fong taught me how to administer subcutaneous injections. And, every time when they were there, I remember hearing them on the phone, they're calling back to the team at the office. I will hear them talk about a treatment plan, medication doses. And at this point, I'm like very sure. The first time ever, I was so sure, like, okay, we're going to get a list of medicine. We're going to have to go to the pharmacy to get them. Now, just like magic, right? They opened up their backpacks and every single medicine that we needed was there. Everything, medicine, syringes, anything that we needed, it was there. And that was when I understood why their backpacks are so huge. They're actually carrying everything that the patient needs in the backpack. You see, the thing is, Hospice Malaysia did not provide us just medical support. They also gave us emotional support. These were tough times that we were going through, and we knew that things were going to get harder. And they actually helped us out by preparing us what were to happen as the end of life stage began. Now, fortunately, August and September of that year was uneventful. Tijani and I, we spent time, we would talk, we would watch her favorite TV shows, eat whatever she wanted, no matter how little she could eat. And we just spent time together. Now, by mid-October, she lost consciousness. And by early November, on 3rd November, she passed away peacefully. And by some divine plan, Nurse Nisha was with us right there at that moment. The last few months of Tijani's life was meaningful and memorable. For the times we did not have to spend in the hospital, we spent it together at home. And for the worry we did not have to bear, we used it to be happy. And sorry, I'm just thinking about the last few moments. Tijani actually had a good quality of life despite her circumstances. Her journey of illness was very, very dignified. Yeah. And even though she was very, very young and her life was short, I learned a lot from her. I learned about strength. I learned about humor. I learned about grace. And I think the best lesson that I learned from her was to live with dignity and live with peace. Even though she was just 23 years old, no, not even, sorry. At that time, she was just 22. She never made it to 23. I think that she has left a lasting impact. And I am very happy to be here tonight to share about our experience with Hospice Malaysia. To everyone who's here tonight, your support makes a difference. It means that families like mine can have that very same promise of dignity and unity in care. And with that, thank you so much from Haziq and I, from the very bottom of our hearts, for honoring that promise, not just to those who are ill, but also to the family who's just trying to love, to care, and to let go with grace. Thank you.